Sonnet 1. From fairest creatures we desire increase, that thereby beauty's rose might never die. But as the riper should by time decease, his tender air might bear his memory. But thou, contracted to thine own bright eyes, feedst thy light's flame with self-substantial fuel, making a famine where abundance lies, thyself thy foe, to thy sweet self too cruel. Thou, that art now the world's fresh ornament, and only herald to the gaudy spring, within thine own bud buryest thy content, and tender churl makes waste in niggarding. Pity the world, or else this glutton be, to eat the world's due by the grave and thee. Tough talk. Sonnet 2, and this is one of my favourites. When 40 winters shall besiege thy brow, and dig deep trenches in thy beauty's field, thy youth's proud livery, so gazed on now, will be a tattered weed of small worth held. Then, being asked where all thy beauty lies, where all the treasure of thy lusty days, to say, within thine own deep-sunken eyes were an all-eating shame and thriftless praise. How much more praise deserved thy beauty's use, if thou couldst answer, this fair child of mine shall sum my count and make my old excuse, proving his beauty by succession thine. This were to be new made when thou art old, and see thy blood warm when thou find'st it cold. Sonnet 3. Look in thy glass and tell the face thou viewest, now is the time that face should form another, whose fresh repair, if now thou not renewest, thou dost beguile the world, unbless some mother. For where is she so fair, whose unerred womb disdains the tillage of thy husbandry? Or who is he so fond will be the tomb of his self-love to stop posterity? Thou art thy mother's glass, and she in thee calls back the lovely April of her prime. So thou through windows of thine age shalt see, despite of wrinkles, this thy golden time. But if thou live remembered not to be, die single, and thine image dies with thee. Sonnet 4. Unthrifty loveliness, why dost thou spend upon thyself thy beauty's legacy? Nature's bequest gives nothing, but doth lend, and being frank, she lends to those are free. Then, beauteous niggard, why dost thou abuse the bounteous largesse given thee to give? Profitless usurer, why dost thou use so great a sum of sums, yet canst not live? For having traffic with thyself alone, thou of thyself, thy sweet self, dost deceive. Then how, when nature calls thee to be gone, what acceptable audit canst thou leave? thy unused beauty must be tombed with thee, which used lives the executor to be. Hello, I have a confession and an apology to make because I'm not going to do Sonnet 5. It's too hard. I've been working on it, and I just don't think I could do it justice because I don't really understand it. So we're moving on to Sonnet 6. Now, Sonnet 6 and Sonnet 5 actually go together. Just try to remember that while I'm reading. Then let not winter's ragged hand deface in thee thy summer ere thou be distilled. Make sweet some vial. Treasure thou some place with beauty's treasure ere it be self-killed. That use is not forbidden usury, which happy is those that pay the willing loan. That's for thyself to breed another thee. Or 10 times happier, be it 10 for 1. 10 times thyself were happier than thou art, if 10 of thine 10 times refigured thee. Then what could death do if thou shouldst depart, leaving thee living in posterity? Be not self-willed, for thou art much too fair to be death's conquest, and make worms thine heir. Sonnet 7. In the first line, there are the 2 words gracious light. In this sonnet, it means the sun. Lo, in the orient when the gracious light lifts up his burning head, each under eye does homage to his new appearing sight, serving with looks his sacred majesty, and having climbed the steep up heavenly hill, resembling strong youth in his middle age, yet mortal looks adore his beauty still, attending on his golden pilgrimage. But when from highmost pitch with weary car, like feeble age, he reeleth from the day, the eyes forduteous now converted are from his low tract, and look another way. So thou, thyself outgoing in thy noon, unlooked on, diest, unless thou get a son. I wonder if the use of the word car, C-A-R, was the first time that word was ever used in English verse. It means chariot. Sonnet 8. Music to hear. Why hearst thou music sadly? Sweets with sweets war not, joy delights in joy. Why lovest thou that which thou receivest not gladly, or else receivest with pleasure thine annoy? If the true concord of well-tuned sounds by unions married do offend thine ear, they do but sweetly chide thee who confounds in singleness the parts that thou shouldst bear. Mark how one string, sweet husband to another, strikes each in each by mutual ordering, resembling sire and child and happy mother, who all in one pleasing note do sing, whose speechless song, being many, seeming one, sings this to thee: thou single wilt prove none. Well, I'm going to do Sonnet 10 because I don't like Sonnet 9. Now, you can read it yourselves and make that decision, but I found it offensive, so I'm not going to do it because nobody's going to make me. So, Sonnet 10. For shame, deny that thou bear'st love to any, who for thyself art so unprovident. Grant, if thou wilt, thou art beloved of many, but that thou none lovest is most evident. For thou art so possessed with murderous hate, that 'gainst thyself thou stick'st not to conspire, seeking that beauteous roof to ruinate, which to repair should be thy chief desire. Oh, change that thought, that I may change my mind. Shall hate be fairer lodged than gentle love? Be as thy presence is, gracious and kind, or to thyself at least kind-hearted prove. Make thee another self, for love of me, that beauty still may live in thine or thee. Sonnet 11. As fast as thou shalt wane, so fast thou growest in one of thine from that which thou departest. And that fresh blood which youngly thou bestowest, thou mayest call thine when thou from youth convertest. Herein lives wisdom, beauty, and increase. Without this, folly, age, and cold decay. If all were minded so, the times should cease, and 80 years would make the world away. Let those whom nature hath not made for store, harsh, featureless, and rude, barrenly perish. Look whom she best bestowed, she gave the more, which bounteous gift thou shouldst in bounty cherish. She carved thee for her seal, and meant thereby thou shouldst print more, not let that copy die. Sonnet 12. I hope you're ready for this. When I do count the clock that tells the time, and see the brave day sunk in hideous night, when I behold the violet past prime, and sable curls all silvered o'er with white, when lofty trees I see barren of leaves, which erst from heat did canopy the herd, and summer's green all girded up in sheaves, borne on the bier with white and bristly beard, then of thy beauty do I question make, that thou among the wastes of time must go, since sweets and beauties do themselves forsake, and die as fast as they see others grow. And nothing 'gainst time's scythe can make defense, save breed to brave him when he takes thee hence. Awesome. Sonnet 13. Oh, that you were yourself! But love, you are no longer yours than you yourself here live. Against this coming end you should prepare, and your sweet semblance to some other give. So should that beauty which you hold in lease find no determination, then you were yourself again after yourself's decease, when your sweet issue your sweet form should bear. Who lets so fair a house fall to decay? Which husbandry in honour might uphold against the stormy gusts of winter's day and barren rage of death's eternal cold? Oh, none but unthrifts. Dear my love, you know, you had a father. Let your son say so. Sonnet 14. Not from the stars do I my judgment pluck, and yet methinks I have astronomy, but not to tell of good or evil luck, of plagues, of dearths, or seasons' quality, nor can I fortune to brief minutes tell, pointing to each his thunder, rain, and wind, or say with princes, if it shall go well, by oft predict that I in heaven find. But from thine eyes my knowledge I derive, and constant stars, in them I read such art as truth and beauty shall together thrive, if from thyself to store thou wouldst convert. Or else of thee this I prognosticate: the end is truth and beauty's doom and date. Tough. Hello, this is Sonnet 15, and I have found it very, very difficult. I understand what the overall sense is, but words have different meanings and they seem to leap off the page and confuse me. However, when I consider everything that grows, holds in perfection but a little moment, that this huge stage presenteth naught but shows, whereon the stars in secret I'm going to have to start again. When I consider everything that grows, holds in perfection but a little moment, that this huge stage presenteth naught but shows, whereon the stars in secret influence comment, when I perceive that men as plants increase, cheered and checked even by the selfsame sky, vaunt in their youthful sap, at height decrease, and wear their brave state out of memory, then the conceit of this inconstant stay sets you most rich in youth before my sight, where wasteful time debateth with decay to change your day of youth to sullied night, and all in war with time for love of you, as he takes from you, I engraft you new. Is that okay? Hello, we're outside because this next sonnet uses growing things as a metaphor for procreation, love, sex. I'm a little uncomfortable with some of it, but anyway, here goes. Sonnet 16. But wherefore do not you a mightier way make war upon this bloody tyrant time, and fortify yourself in your decay with means more blessed than my barren rhyme? Now stand you on the top of happy hours and many maiden gardens yet unset, with virtuous wish would bear your living flowers, much liker than your painted counterfeit, So should the lines of life that life repair, which this time's pencil or my pupil pen, neither in inward worth nor outward fair, can make you live yourself in eyes of men. To give away yourself keeps yourself still, and you must live drawn by your own sweet skill. Hello. We've reached Sonnet 17, and that means that we've reached a sort of mini landmark point in these 154 sonnets, because right up to Sonnet 17, Mr. Shakespeare has been writing on one particular theme, trying to persuade this gorgeous young man that he should have a child, not just to continue the family name and reputation, but his own personal beauty. After 17, the tone changes, and I'm thinking I might say a little bit about that tomorrow. But for now, one of my favorite sonnets, 17. Who will believe my verse in time to come? If it were filled with... I'm going to begin again. Who will believe my verse in time to come, if it were filled with your most high desert? Though yet, you know what, I've got to start again, I'm sorry. It's desserts and not dessert. Who will believe my verse in time to come, if it were filled with your most high deserts? Though yet, heaven knows it is but as a tomb, which hides your life and shows not half your parts. If I could write the beauty of your eyes, and in fresh numbers number all your graces, the age to come would say, this poet lies. Such heavenly touches ne'er touched earthly faces. So should my papers, yellowed with their age, be scorned like old men of less truth than tongue, and your true rights be termed a poet's rage and stretched metre of an antique song. But were some child of yours alive that time, you should live twice, in it and in my rhyme. After I finished the sonnet, I think it was yesterday, I thought we'd stop recording, and I said, was that all right? Actually, that was not addressed to my viewers. It was addressed to my wife, and this is the appropriate moment to give her the credit as my cinematographer and set designer. Sonny, thank you so much. Hello. I think the moment has come for me to tell you something about this book I've been reading for the past 2 weeks. Well, it's an American edition of the Sonnets, and it was produced by the Folger Shakespeare Library, a great institution. The editors are Barbara A. Mowat and Paul Werstein. And because we're at a very important place in these sonnets, I want to read something from their introduction. The poet, William Shakespeare, begins with a set of 17 sonnets advising a beautiful young man to produce a child. These poems of advice modulate into a set of sonnets which urge the poet's love for the young man, and which claim that the young man's beauty will be preserved in the very poems that we are now reading. This second set of sonnets, 18 to 126, which in the supposed narrative celebrate the poet's love for the young man, includes clusters of poems that seem to tell us of such specific events as the young man's mistreatment of the poet, the young man's theft of the poet's mistress, the appearance of rival poets who celebrate the young man and gain his favour, and the poet's separation from the young man through trouble or through the young man's indifference, and the poet's infidelity to the young man. So here we are, and we are at perhaps the most well-known sonnet in the book, Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Of course, I would mess this up, wouldn't I? Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a note. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe and eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Sonnet 19. Devouring time, blunt thou the lion's paws, and make the earth devour her own sweet brood. Pluck the keen teeth from the fierce tiger's jaws, and burn the long-lived phoenix in her blood. Make glad and sorry seasons as thou fleetst, and do whatever thou wilt, swift-footed time, to the wide world and all her fading sweets. But I forbid thee one most heinous crime. O carve not with thy hours my love's fair brow, nor draw no lines there with thine antique pen. Him in thy course untainted do allow, for beauty's pattern to succeeding men. Yet do thy worst, old time, despite thy wrong, my love shall in my verse ever live young. Strong stuff. So, after several hours of looking at Sonnet 20, I'm going to pass on this one too, because it makes me quite uncomfortable. There is an issue of how he writes about women that I don't like. So, I don't have to say it, because nobody can make me. And we're moving on to Sonnet 21. I was never very good with props. 21. So is it not with me as with that muse, stirred by a painted beauty to his verse, who heaven itself for ornament doth use, and every fair with his fair doth rehearse, making a compliment of proud compare, with sun and moon, with earth and sea's rich gems, with April's firstborn flowers, and all things rare that heaven's air in this huge rondure hems. Oh, let me, true in love, but truly right, and then believe me, my love is as fair as any mother's child, though not so bright as those gold candles fixed in heaven's air. Let them say more that like of hearsay well. I will not praise that purpose not to sell. It's tricky. on this rainy, damp day in Southern California. Sonnet 23. It's the rain. As an unperfect actor on the stage, who with his fear is put beside his part, or some fierce thing replete with too much rage, whose strength's abundance weakens his own heart. So I, for fear of trust, forget to say the perfect ceremony of love's rite, and in mine own love's strength seem to decay, o'ercharged with burden of mine own love's might. Oh, let my books be then the eloquence and dumb presagers of my speaking breast, who plead for love and look for recompense more than that tongue that more hath more expressed. Oh, learn to read what silent love hath writ. To hear with eyes belongs to love's fine wit. Sonnet 24. Mine eye hath played the painter, and hath stelled thy beauty's form in table of my heart. My body is the frame wherein 'tis held, and perspective it is best painter's art. For through the painter must you see his skill, to find where your true image pictured lies, which in my bosom's shop is hanging still, that hath his windows glazed with thine eyes. Now see what good turns eyes for eyes have done. Mine eyes have drawn thy shape, and thine for me are windows to my breast, where through the sun delights to peep, to gaze therein on thee. Yet eyes this cunning want to grace their art. They draw but what they see, know not the heart. Sonnet 25, an unusual one, which I had never read until this morning, but it's extraordinary. Let those who are in favour with their stars of public honour and proud titles boast, whilst I, whom fortune of such triumph bars, unlooked for joy in that I honour most. Great princes' favourites their fair leaves spread, but as the marigold at the sun's eye, and in themselves their pride lies buried, for at a frown they in their glory die. The painful warrior, famoused for worth, after 1,000 victories, once foiled, is from the book of honour razed quite. Then happy I, that love and am beloved, where I may not remove, nor be removed. So, Sonnet 26. Lord of my love, to whom in vassalage thy merit hath my duty strongly knit, to thee I send this written embassage, to witness duty, not to show my wit. Duty so great, which wit so poor as mine may make seem bare, in wanting words to show it, but that I hope some good conceit of thine, in thy soul's thought all naked, will bestow it. Till whatsoever star that guides my moving points on me graciously with fair aspect, and puts apparel on my tattered loving, to show me worthy of thy sweet respect. Then may I dare to boast how I do love thee. Till then, not show my head where thou mayest prove me. The next two sonnets, 27 and 28, are actually connected, and so I'm going to do both of them. The first one is well known. Weary with toil, I haste me to my bed, the dear repose for limbs with travel tired. But then begins a journey in my head, to work my mind when body's work's expired. For then my thoughts, from far where I abide, intend a zealous pilgrimage to thee, and keep my drooping eyelids open wide, looking on darkness which the blind do see. Save that my soul's imaginary sight presents thy shadow to my sightless view, which like a jewel hung in ghastly night makes black night beauteous and old face new. Lo, thus by day my limbs, by night my mind, for thee and for myself no quiet find. How can I then return in happy plight, that am debarred the benefit of rest, when day's oppression is not eased by night, but day by night and night by day oppressed, and each, though enemies to either's reign, do in consent shake hands to torture me, the one by toil, the other to complain how far I toil, still farther off from thee. I tell the day to please him. I tell the day to please him, thou art bright, and dost him grace when clouds do blot the heaven. So flatter I the swart-complexioned night, when sparkling stars twire not, thou gilt'st the even. But day doth daily draw my sorrows longer, and night doth nightly make grief's length seem stronger. I am so sorry. It is late in the day. But nevertheless, it is an opportunity for the first time to say, good health, be well, and take care. We have a great sonnet, which almost got left out tonight. 29. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy, contented least. Yet, in these thoughts, myself almost despising, happily I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love, such wealth remembered, for thy sweet love remembered, such wealth brings, that then I I scorn to change my state with kings. Sleep well. When I looked at last night's sonnet this morning, I was disappointed. It wasn't. Well, I can do better, which hopefully is going to be now, because I'm doing Sonnet 28 again. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy, contented least. Yet, in these thoughts, myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered, such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. Thanks for your patience, and I'll now have a go at 30, which I didn't know before, but I've grown very fond of. Sonnet 30. When to the sessions of sweet silent thought I summon up remembrance of things past, I sigh the lack of many a thing I sought, and with old woes new wail my dear time's waste. Then can I drown an eye unused to flow for precious friends hid in death's dateless night, and weep afresh love's long since cancelled woe, and moan the expense of many a vanished sight. Then can I grieve, thank you, then can I grieve at grievances foregone, and heavily from woe to woe tell o'er the sad account of fore bemoaned moan, which I knew paid as if not paid before. But if the while I think on thee, dear friend, all losses are restored, and sorrows end. Hi, this is Sonnet 31, and it's complex, and I fear that in reading it I might be overemphasizing words in order to try to make the meaning clear. You should judge. 31. Thy bosom is endeared with all hearts which I by lacking have supposed dead, and there reigns love, and all love's loving parts, and all those friends which I thought buried. How many a holy and obsequious tear hath dear religious love stolen from mine eye, as interest of the dead, which now appear but things removed that hidden in thee lie. Thou art the grave where buried love doth live, hung with the trophies of my lovers gone, with all who all their parts of me to thee did give, that due of many now is thine alone. Their images I loved in view of thee, and thou, all they, hast all the all of me. Hi. Sonnet 32. If thou survive my well-contented day, when that churl death my bones with dust shall cover, and shalt by fortune once more resurvey these poor rude lines of thy deceased lover, compare them with the bettering of the time, and though they be outstripped by every pen, reserve them for my love, not for their rhyme, exceeded by the height of happier men. Oh, then, vouchsafe me but this loving thought. Had my friend's muse grown with this growing age, a dearer birth than this his love had brought, to march in ranks of better equipage. But since he died, and poets better prove theirs for their style, I'll read his for his love. Sonnet 33, and one of our editors has made a note here which says this is the first of a series of 3 poems in which the beloved is pictured as having hurt the poet through some unspecified misdeeds. So let's find out. Full many a glorious morning have I seen flatter the mountain tops with sovereign eye, kissing with golden face the meadows green, gilding pale streams with heavenly alchemy. Anon permit the basest clouds to ride with ugly wrack on his celestial face, and from the forlorn world his visage hide, stealing unseen to west with this disgrace. Even so, my sun one early morn did shine with all triumphant splendor on my brow, but out, alack, he was but 1 hour mine. The region cloud hath masked him from me now. Yet him for this, my love, no wit disdaineth. Sons of the world may stain when heaven's sun staineth. Hi, Sonnet 34. Why didst thou promise such a beauteous day, and make me travel forth without my cloak? To let base clouds o'ertake me in my way, hiding thy bravery in their rotten smoke. 'Tis not enough that through the cloud thou break, to dry the rain on my storm-beaten face. For no man well of such a salve can speak, that heals the wound and cures not the disgrace. Nor can thy shame give physic to my grief. Though thou repent, yet I have still the loss. The offender's sorrow lends but weak relief to him that bears the strong offence's cross. Ah, but those tears are pearl which thy love sheds, and they are rich and ransom all ill deeds. Sonnet 35. That sounded weird. Sonnet 35. No more be grieved at that which thou hast done. Roses have thorns, and silver fountains mud. Clouds and eclipses stain both moon and sun, and loathsome canker lives in sweetest bud. All men make faults, and even I in this, authorizing thy trespass, with compare, myself corrupting, salving thy amiss, excusing thy sins more than thy sins are. For to thy sensual fault I bring incense, the adverse party is thy advocate, and 'gainst myself a lawful plea commencing. Such civil war is in my love and hate, that I am an accessory, needs must be, to that sweet thief which sourly robs from me. Complex, difficult. Thank you, William. Sonnet 36. Let me confess that we two must be twain, although our undivided loves are one. So shall those blots that do with me remain, without thy help, by me be borne alone. In our two loves there is but one respect, though in our lives a separable spite, which, though it alter not love's sole effect, yet doth it steal sweet hours from love's delight. I may not evermore acknowledge thee, lest my bewailed guilt should do thee shame, nor thou with public kindness honour me, unless thou take that honour from thy name. But do not so. I love thee in such sort as thou being mine is thy good report. Hi, happy St. George's Day, and it's appropriate that this is also Shakespeare's birthday, we believe. So, Sonnet 37. As a decrepit father takes delight to see his active child do deeds of youth, so I, made lame by fortune's dearest spite, take all my comfort of thy worth and truth. For whether beauty, birth, or wealth, or wit, or any of these all, or more, entitled in thy parts do crowned sit, I make my love engrafted to this store. So then I am not lame, poor, nor despised, whilst that this shadow doth such substance give, that I in thy abundance am sufficed, and by a part of all thy glory live. Look, what is best, that best I wish for thee. This wish I have, then 10 times happy me. Stand by, there will be a little surprise to follow shortly. Good evening. It's a little late, I apologize. Too much relaxation today, not enough preparation. But here we go. Sonnet 38. How can my muse want subject to invent, while thou dost breathe that pourest into my verse thine own sweet argument, too excellent for every vulgar paper to rehearse? Oh, give thyself the thanks, if aught in me worthy perusal stand against thy sight. For who's so dumb that cannot write to thee, when thou thyself dost give invention light? Be thou the 10th muse, 10 times more in worth than those old 9 which rhymers invocate. And he that calls on thee, let him bring forth eternal numbers to outlive long date. If my slight muse do please these curious days, the pain be mine, but thine shall be the praise. Hi, Sunday Sonnet 39. Oh, how thy worth with manners may I sing, when thou art all the better part of me. What can mine own praise to mine own self bring? And what is't but mine own when I praise thee? Even for this let us divided live, and our dear love lose name of single one, that by this separation I may give that due to thee which thou deservest alone. O absence! What a torment wouldst thou prove, were it not thy sour leisure gave sweet leave to entertain the time with thoughts of love, which time and thoughts so sweetly doth deceive. And that thou teachest how to make one twain, by praising him here who doth hence remain. Have a great Sunday evening. There we go. That's beautiful. Sit down. Come on. Sit. There we go. Isn't that perfect? Oh, knows where the camera is. Oh, anytime.
Yeah, now.
Oh, I see. Well, good evening. From three of us. This is
Glenn,
a neighbor. And this is Sonnet 40. It's a beauty, though a little tricky. Don't you want to hear Sonnet 40? He hates Sonnet 40. Okay. Take all my loves, my love, yea, take them all. What hast thou then more than thou hadst before? No, love, my love, that thou mayest true love call, all mine was thine before thou hadst this more. Then, if for my love thou my love receivest, I cannot blame thee for my love thou usest. But yet be blamed if thou thyself deceivest by wilful taste of what thyself refusest. I do forgive thy robbery, gentle thief, although thou steal thee all my poverty. And yet love knows it is a greater grief to bear love's wrong than hate's known injury. Lascivious grace, in whom all ill well shows, kill me with spites, yet we must not be foes. What did you think of that? Not much. Hi, excuse me. You know, I feel really sorry sometimes for William Shakespeare about the things he didn't have, like iced coffee, for example. Poor man. Sonnet 41. Those pretty wrongs that liberty commits when I am sometime absent from thy heart, thy beauty and thy years full well befits, for still temptation follows where thou art. Gentle thou art, and therefore to be won. Beauteous thou art, therefore to be assailed. And when a woman woos, what woman's son will sourly leave her till he have prevailed? Ay me, but yet thou mightest my seat forbear, and chide thy beauty and thy straying youth, who lead thee in their riot even there, where thou art forced to break a twofold truth. Hers, by thy beauty tempting her to thee, thine, by thy beauty being false to me. A little sad, isn't it? Fine. Sonnet 42. That thou hast her, it is not all my grief, and yet it may be said, I loved her dearly. That she hath thee is of my wailing chief, a loss in love that touches me more nearly. Loving offenders, thus will I excuse ye. Thou dost love her, because thou knowest I love her, and for my sake, even so doth she abuse me, suffering my friend, for my sake, to approve her. If I lose thee, my loss is my love's gain, and losing her, my friend hath found that loss. Both find each other, and I lose both twain, and both for my sake lay on me this cross. But here's the joy. My friend and I are one. Sweet flattery, then she loves but me alone. Charming. Big one tomorrow. Stand by. Good night. Hi. Well, this is Sonnet 43, one of my favorites. And you're probably all very familiar with it. But for those who might not be, I just want to point out one thing, that the word wink that occurs in the first line doesn't mean, it actually means sleep. Just keep that in mind. Okay, Sonnet 43. When most I wink, then do mine eyes best see. For all the day they view things unrespected, but when I sleep, in dreams they look on thee, and darkly bright are bright in dark directed. Then thou, whose shadows doth make bright, how would thy shadows form happy show to the clear day, with thy much clearer light, when to unseeing eyes thy shade shines so? How would, I say, mine eyes be blessed made by looking on thee in the living day, when in dead night thy fair, imperfect shade through heavy sleep on sightless eyes doth stay. All days are nights to see, till I see thee, and nights bright days, when dreams do show thee me. Well, it's sonnet time again, but I thought that yesterday it would be a refreshing change to shift from the modern to the medieval, and I love those videos of sonnets. So here we are, Sonnet 44, and this is about separation. If the dull substance of my flesh were thought, injurious distance should not stop my way, for then, despite of space, I would be brought from limits far remote where thou dost stay. No matter then, although my foot did stand upon the farthest earth removed from thee, for nimble thought can jump both sea and land, and soonest think the place where he would be. But thought kills me that I am not thought, to leap large lengths of miles when thou art gone, but that so much of earth and water wrought, I must attend time's leisure with my moan, receiving naught but elements so slow, but heavy tears, badges of either's woe. It's not nice being apart. Hi. As I said yesterday, this is a two-sonnet theme. And the first sonnet, 44, was about the elements. And the elements in this one were earth and water, which are thought to be the dullest elements. In this one, the elements are air and fire, which have a different impact on us when we're subject to them. So, Sonnet 45. The other two, the other two, slight air and purging fire, are both with thee wherever I abide. The first my thought, the other my desire. These present absent with swift motion slide. For when these quicker elements are gone, in tender embassy of love to thee, my life, being made of four, with two alone sinks down to death, oppressed with melancholy. Until life's composition be recured by those swift messages returned from thee, who even but now come back again, assured of thy fair health, recounting it to me. This told, I joy. But then, no longer glad, I send them back again, and straight grow sad. That's difficult. I might have another go at that tomorrow. But for now, thanks for watching. I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know which day to apply to this. It's getting very confusing, isn't it? It is actually Monday. Monday?
All day.
All day. Thank you, Sonny. God, what would I do? So here we have Sonnet 46. And this again is one of these double-headed ones. By double-headed, when I was a kid, I was a train spotter, and a double-headed was when there were two engines pulling one train. Mine eye and heart are at a mortal war, how to divide the conquest of thy sight. Mine eye, my heart, thy picture sight would bar. Mine heart, mine eye, the freedom of that right. My heart doth plead that thou in him dost lie, a closet never pierced with crystal eyes. But the defendant doth that plea deny, and says in him, thy fair appearance lies. To cite this title is empanelled, a quest of thoughts, all tenants to the heart, and by their verdict is determined the clear eye's moiety and the dear heart's part, and thus, mine eye's due is thy outward part, and my heart's right, thy inward love of heart. I thought that was going to be very difficult, but it turned out to be a lot easier. Bye. Sonnet 47. Betwixt mine eye and heart a league is took, and each doth good turns now unto the other. When that mine eye is famished for a look, or hear, or heart in love with sighs himself doth smother, With my love's picture then my eye doth feast, and to the painted banquet bids my heart. Another time, mine eye is my heart's guest, and in his thoughts of love doth share a part. So, either by thy picture or my love, thyself away are present still with me. For thou no farther than my thoughts canst move, and I am still with them, and they with thee. Or if they sleep, thy picture is my sight, awakes my heart to hearts and eyes' delight. Lovely, nice sentiment. 48. How careful was I when I took my way, each trifle under truest bars to thrust, that to my use it might unused stay from hands of falsehood in such wards of trust. But thou, to whom my jewels trifles are, most worthy comfort, now my greatest grief, thou best of dearest, and mine only care, art left the prey of every vulgar thief. Thee have I not locked up in any chest, save where thou art not, though I feel thou art, within the gentle closure of my breast, from whence at pleasure thou mayest come or part. And even thence thou wilt be stolen, I fear, for truth proves thievish for a price so dear. Good night. Hi, Sonnet. Sonnet? That's not promising, is it? Sonnet 49. Against that time, if ever that time come, when I shall see thee frown on my defects, when as thy love hath cast his utmost sum, called to that audit by advised respects, against that time, when thou shalt strangely pass, and scarcely greet me with that sun, thine eye, when love, converted from the thing it was, shall reasons find of settled gravity, against that time do I ensconce me here, within the knowledge of mine own desert, and this my hand against myself uprear, to guard the lawful reasons on thy part. To leave poor me thou hast the strength of laws, since why to love I can allege no cause. Sad. We have arrived at Sonnet 50. It's extraordinary. Oh, I hope the hat is not too much of a distraction. It's Sonny's hat, and I'm in the sun. How heavy do I journey on the way, when what I seek, my weary travels end, doth teach that ease and that repose to say, thus far the miles are measured from thy friend. The beast that bears me, tired with my woe, plods dully on to bear the weight in me, as if by some instinct the wretch did know his rider loved not speed, being made from thee. The bloody spur cannot provoke him on, that sometimes anger thrusts into his side, which heavily he answers with a groan, more sharp to me than spurring to his side. For that same groan doth put this in my mind: My grief lies onward, and my joy behind. Hi. Hope you've been having a good Sunday. We have. But now it's time for Sonnet 51. It's difficult. Thus can my love excuse the slow offence of my dull bearer, when from thee I speed. From where thou art, why should I haste me thence? Till I return, of posting is no need. Oh, what excuse will my poor beast then find, when swift extremity can seem but slow? Then should I spur, though mounted on the wind, in winged speed, no motion shall I know. Then can no horse with my desire keep pace. Therefore desire, of perfect love being made, shall neigh no dull flesh in his fiery race, but love for love thus shall excuse my jade. Since from thee going, he went wilful slow, towards thee I'll run, and give him leave to go. Hi, so here we are, Sonnet 52. Can you believe that? I had problems with this one too, to begin with, but they kind of resolved themselves. It's interesting that reading something on the page and reading it aloud, it changes for you, and reading it aloud often makes it easier to understand. Sonnet 52. So am I as the rich, whose blessed key can bring him to his sweet up-locked treasure, the which he will not every hour survey, for blunting the fine point of seldom pleasure. Therefore are feasts so solemn and so rare, since seldom coming in the long year set, like stones of worth they thinly placed are, or capped in jewels in the carcanet. So is the time that keeps you as my chest, or as the wardrobe which the robe doth hide, to make some special instant special blessed, by new unfolding his imprisoned pride. Blessed are you whose worthiness gives scope, being had to triumph, being lacked to hope. Good morning, if you're in Los Angeles, that is. If not, good afternoon, or even good evening, I guess, in London. Well, Sonnet 53. I like this one. What is your substance? Whereof are you made, that millions of strange shadows on you tend? Since everyone hath, everyone, one shade, and you but one can every shadow lend. Describe Adonis, and the counterfeit is poorly imitated after you. On Helen's cheek all art of beauty set, and you in Grecian tires are painted new. Speak of the spring and foison of the year. The one doth shadow of your beauty show, the other as your bounty doth appear, and you in every blessed shape we know. In all external grace you have some part, but like you none, none you, for constant heart. Bye. Hi. Beautiful afternoon. for Sonnet 54. Oh, how much more doth beauty beauteous seem by that sweet ornament which truth doth give. The rose looks fair, but fairer we it deem for that sweet odour which doth in it live. The canker blooms have full as deep a dye as the perfumed tincture of the roses. Hang on such thorns, and play as wantonly when summer's breath their masked buds discloses. But for their virtue only is their show. They live unwooed and unrespected, fade, die to themselves. Sweet roses do not so. Of their sweet deaths are sweetest odors made. And so of you, beauteous and lovely youth, when that shall fade, by verse distills your truth. In that last line there are two words, vade, which I've never encountered before, when I think it should be fade, and by verse, when really it should be my verse. I'm going to read that line again so you can hear what I mean. And so of you, beauteous and lovely youth, when that shall fade, my verse distills your truth. You choose who's right, Patrick or William. Bye. Hi, it's sonnet time again, and here we are with a beauty. Sonnet 55. Not marble, nor the gilded monuments of princes shall outlive this powerful rhyme. But you shall shine more bright in these contents than unswept stone besmeared with sluttish time. When wasteful war shall statues overturn, and broils root out the work of masonry, nor Mars his sword, nor war's quick fire shall burn the living record of your memory. 'Gainst death and all oblivious enmity shall you pace forth. Your praise shall still find room even in the eyes of all posterity, that wear this world out to the ending of doom. So, till the judgment that yourself arise, you live in this and dwell in lovers' eyes. Hi, Sonnet 26. No, what am I saying? That was a long time ago. Sonnet 56. Sweet love, renew thy force. Be it not said thy edge should blunter be than appetite, which but today by feeding is allayed, tomorrow sharpened in his former might. So love be thou, although today thou fill thy hungry eyes even till they wink with fullness, tomorrow see again, and do not kill the spirit of love with a perpetual dullness. Let this sad interim like the ocean be, which parts the shore, where two contracted new come daily to the banks, that when they see return of love, more blessed may be the view. Or call it winter, which being full of care, makes summer's welcome thrice more wished, more rare. Hi. Now, I don't want you to think that what's in my hand has anything to do with what is about to happen, but I have a surprise for you. This afternoon, we have a guest sonneteer. My friends, Mr. Jonathan Frakes.
Sonnet 57, one of my favorites. Being your slave, what should I do but tend upon the hours and times of your desire? I have no precious time at all to spend, nor services to do till you require. Nor do I chide the world without end hour, whilst I, my sovereign, watch the clock for you. Nor think the bitterness of absence sour, when you have bid your servant once adieu. Nor dare I question with my jealous thought where you may be, or your affairs oppose. But, like a sad slave, stay and think of naught, save where you are, how happy you make those. So true a fool is love, that in your will, though you do anything, he thinks no ill. Not bad.
Bravo! Bravo! Well, you've only got another 70 odd to go, John. You'll be there. That was terrific. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonny.
Hi. Well, Sonnet 59. I have an admission to make. I've tried and tried and tried to understand how to speak this sonnet, and I failed. I have no idea how to do it. So please, everyone else, have a look and see what you can make of it. But don't tell me it's really easy, will you? Because that would just make me sad. So, 59 ain't gonna happen. And here comes 60, which is one that I love. Like as the waves make towards the pebbled shore, so do our minutes hasten to their end, each changing place with that which goes before. In sequent toil all forwards do contend. Nativity, once in the main of light, crawls to maturity, wherewith being crowned, crooked eclipses gainst his glory fight, and time that gave doth now his gift confound. Time doth transfix the flourish set on youth, and delves the parallels in beauty's brow, feeds on the rarities of nature's truth, and nothing stands but for his scythe to mow. And yet, to times in hope, my verse shall stand, praising thy worth, despite his cruel hand. Thank you. Sorry it's a bit late. Good night. Sorry about the late hour last night when we posted. We've done better today. A Sonnet 61. Is it thy will thy image should keep open my heavy eyelids to the weary night? Dost thou desire my slumber should be broken, while shadows like to thee do mock my sight? Is it thy spirit that thou send'st from thee so far from home into my deeds to pry, to find out shames and idle hours in me, the scope and tenor of thy jealousy? Oh, no. Thy love, though much, is not so great. It is my love that keeps mine eye awake, mine own true love that doth my rest defeat, to play the watchman ever for thy sake. For thee watch I whilst thou dost wake elsewhere, from me far off, with others all too near. Little bit of bitterness in that, it seems to me, perhaps even angry. Well, love isn't always sweet dreams, is it? Look, Sorry, it's late again. Camera people, you can't rely on them, you know. 62. Sin of self-love possesseth. Well, that was a mistake, wasn't it? Right off. Put that over there. Sin of self-love possesseth all mine eye. I'm going to try that a third time, because I was almost there, but not quite. Sin of self-love possesseth all mine eye, and all my soul, and all my every part. And for this sin there is no remedy. It is so groundward, inward in my heart. Methinks no face so gracious is as mine, no shape so true, no truth of such account. And for myself, mine own worth do define, as I all other in all worths surmount. But when my glass shows me myself indeed, beated and chopped with tanned antiquity, mine own self-love quite contrary I read, self so self-loving were iniquity. 'Tis thee, myself, that for myself I praise, painting my age with beauty of thy days. Hi, I'm sorry, yet again it's late, but the reason being that a very exciting new project has come up for me, which I have been attending to all day. And so we're going to take a very short hiatus in the sonnets. But what I'm going to do, what is taking the place of the sonnets, is something really terrific. And you will be able to see it in 2 or 3 weeks' time, which I'm very excited about. So excited. So this is goodbye for now, but it will be very brief. Sonnet 63. Against my love shall be as I am now, with time's injurious hand crushed and overworn. When hours have drained his blood and filled his brow with lines and wrinkles, when his youthful morn hath travelled on to age's steepy night, and all those beauties whereof he's now king are vanishing or vanished out of sight, stealing away the treasure of his spring. For such a time do I now fortify against confounding age's cruel knife, that he shall never cut from memory my sweet love's beauty, though my lover's life. His beauty shall in these black lines be seen, and they shall live, and he in them still green. Thank you. I'll see you very soon. Good night. Hi, I'm back. It's been more than a brief time, I know, and I have missed our sonnet sessions. But the project that I mentioned when I took this pause was nothing more than an invitation I had had to write a memoir or an autobiography. So I needed to take all that time, the 4 or 5 weeks that have gone by, to get into it, which I have. It is well underway and I'm enjoying it enormously. So, picking up where we left off, Sonnet 64. When I have seen by time's fell hand defaced the rich, proud cost of outworn, buried age, when sometime lofty towers I see down raised, and brass eternal, slave to mortal rage. When I have seen the hungry ocean gain advantage on the kingdom of the shore, and the firm soil win of the water remain, increasing store with loss, and loss with store. When I have seen such interchange of state, or state itself confounded to decay, ruin hath taught me thus to ruminate. The time will come and take my love away. This thought is as a death, which cannot choose but weep to have that which it fears to lose. See you tomorrow. Hi. Well, Sonnet 65, and I have a feeling that I have known this sonnet since I was a teenager. It is one of the most famous, and it is extraordinarily powerful. Since brass, nor stone, nor earth, nor boundless sea, but sad mortality o'ersways their power, how with this rage shall beauty hold a plea, whose action is no stronger than a flower? Oh, how shall summer's honey breath hold out against the wrackful siege of battering days, when rocks impregnable are not so stout, nor gates of steel so strong, but time decays? Oh, fearful meditation! Where, alack, shall time's best jewel from time's chest lie hid? Or what strong hand can hold his swift foot back? Or who his spoil of beauty can forbid? Oh, none, unless this miracle have might, that in black ink my love may still shine bright. Thank you. Hi, this is not our customary setting for a sonnet, nor is it customary that I am actually going to pass on 4 sonnets, 66 through 70, because I can't do them. So we're moving on to 71, which in a way seems to be appropriate for this firelight we have here. So, 71. No longer mourn for me when I am dead, then you shall hear the surly sullen bell give warning to the world that I am fled from this vile world with vilest worms to dwell. Nay, if you read this line, remember not the hand that writ it, for I love you so that I in your sweet thoughts would be forgot, if thinking on me then should make you woe. Oh, if I say you look upon this verse, when I perhaps compounded am with clay, do not so much as my poor name rehearse, but let your love even with my life decay, lest the wise world should look into your moan and mock you with me after I'm gone. Hi, Sonnet 72. Here in the pine woods and with the birds in the background, I hope you're going to hear. And these beautiful wildflowers, these are not planted, they're just growing. So here we go. Inspired by that, Sonnet 72. Oh, lest the world should task you to recite what merit lived in me that you should love, after my death, dear love, forget me quite, for you in me can nothing worthy prove. Unless you would devise some virtuous lie to do more for me than mine own desert, and hang more praise upon deceased I than niggard truth would willingly impart. Oh, lest your true love may seem false in this, that you for love speak well of me untrue, my name be buried where my body is, and live no more to shame nor me nor you. For I am shamed by that which I bring forth, and so should you, to love things nothing worth. Good night. Sonnet 73. I think I have been reading this sonnet and working on it with people like John Barton for decades. So it's kind of internal, but who knows? It's about twilight, and we're approaching it here. That time of year thou mayest in me behold, when yellow leaves, or none, or few, do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold. Bare ruined choirs, where late the sweet birds sang. In me thou seest the twilight of such day as after sunset fadeth in the west, which by and by black night doth take away, death's second self that seals up all in rest. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire that on the ashes of his youth doth lie, as the deathbed wherein it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by. This thou perceiv'st, which makes thy love more strong, to love that well which thou must leave ere long. Good night. Hi. I am not sure what connection there might be between Mono Lake, which you see behind me here in Central California, and Shakespeare's sonnets, except they are both very unusual and extraordinarily beautiful. So, maybe these are the first Shakespearean sonnets ever to be read at Mono Lake. 74. But be contented when that fell arrest without all bail shall carry me away. My life hath in this line some interest, which for memorial still with thee shall stay. When thou reviewest this, thou dost review the very part was consecrate to thee. The earth can have but earth, which is his due. My spirit is thine, the better part of me. So then thou hast but lost the dregs of life, the prey of worms, my body being dead, the coward conquest of a wretch's knife. Too base of thee to be remembered. The worth of that is that which it contains, and that is this, and this with thee remains. Ooh. Yeah.
Lots of bugs.
Yep. They're getting on me. I don't want to. Go away. Hi. Sonnet 75. So are you to my thoughts as food to life, or as sweet seasoned showers are to the ground. And for the peace of you I hold such strife, as twixt a miser and his wealth is found, now proud as an enjoyer, and anon doubting the filching age will steal his treasure. Now counting best to be with you alone, then bettered that the world may see my pleasure. Sometime all full with feasting on your sight, and by clean starved for a look, possessing or pursuing no delight save what is had or must from you be took. Thus do I pine and surfeit day by day, or gluttoning on all, or all away. See you tomorrow. I have no doubt that all of you already know that I've boobed. We're about to go on to Sonnet 78, having done 77, but we missed out 76. I don't know how that happened. I think it must be my producer who is responsible for that. But no names, no pactro, as we say in the UK. So, backtracking, Sonnet 76, and it's tricky. Why is my verse so barren of new pride, so far from variation or quick change? Why with the time do I not glance aside to new-found methods and to compounds strange? Why write I still all one, ever the same, and keep invention in a noted weed? That every word doth almost tell my name, showing their birth and where they did proceed. Oh no, sweet love, I always write of you. And you and love are still my arguments. So all my best is dressing old words new, spending again what is already spent. For as the sun is daily new and old, so is my love still telling what is told. See you tomorrow. Oh, hi. You catch me doing kitchen duties. I can't cook, you see, so I just get to do things like this. I wonder if you know what these are. These are called cranberry beans. There they are. And they are absolutely delicious on a salad or in a bean stew. They're fantastic. So I don't mind being committed to doing all of this darn shelling, because the end result is going to make it all worthwhile. However, put them aside and Shakespeare sonnets. I think I'll take my cap off. Sonnet 77. The glass will show thee how thy beauties wear, thy dial how thy precious minutes waste. The vacant leaves thy mind's imprint will bear, and of this book, this learning, mayst thou taste. The wrinkles which thy glass will truly show of mouthed graves will give thee memory. Thou by thy dial's shady stealth mayest know time's thievish progress to eternity. Look what thy memory cannot contain. Commit to these waste blanks, and thou shalt find those children nursed, delivered from thy brain to take a new acquaintance of thy mind. These offices, so oft as thou wilt look, shall profit thee and much enrich thy book. It's about writing, isn't it? But it's tricky. 77. Thanks for watching. Hi. Well, I think we're back on course. Sonnet 78. So oft have I invoked thee for my muse, and found such fair assistance in my verse. And every alien pen hath got my use, and under thee their poesy disperse. Thine eyes, that taught the dumb on high to sing, and heavy ignorance aloft to fly, have added feathers to the learned's wing, and given grace a double majesty. Yet be most proud of that which I compile, whose influence is thine, and born of thee. In other works thou dost but mend the style, and arts with thy sweet graces graced be. But thou art all my art, and dost advance as high as learning my rude ignorance. True. Bye. Hello, Sonnet 79. Whilst I alone did call upon thy aid, my verse alone had all thy gentle grace. But now my gracious numbers are decayed, and my sick muse doth give another place. I grant, sweet love, thy lovely argument deserves the travail of a worthier pen. Yet what of thee thy poet doth invent, he robs thee of, and pays it thee again. He lends thee virtue, and he stole that word from thy behaviour. Beauty doth he give, and found it in thy cheek. He can afford no praise to thee, but what in thee doth live. Then thank him not for that which he doth say, since what he owes thee, thou thyself dost pay. Bye for now.
Shakespeare's Sonnet 81. Or I shall live your epitaph to make, or you survive when I in earth am rotten. From hence your memory death cannot take, although in me each part will be forgotten. Your name from hence immortal life shall have, though I, once gone to all the world, must die. The earth can yield me but a common grave, when you, entombed in men's eyes, shall lie. Your monument shall be my gentle verse, which eyes not yet created shall all read, and tongues to be your being shall rehearse, when all the breathers of this world are dead. You still shall live, such virtue has my pen, where breath most breathes, even in the mouths of men. And a very happy birthday, dear Patrick. Lots of love. Ian.
Hi. Well, yesterday we had a guest sonneteer in the shape of the wonderful Sir Ian McKellen. It was unpredictable, and I was thrilled that you got a chance to see Ian working. And I am considering maybe inviting other friends, other guests to give their version of a sonnet. We'll see down the road, maybe. But thank you, Ian, for doing 81. And here we are with 82. Tricky. I grant thou wert not married to my muse, and therefore mayst without a taint o'erlook the dedicated words which writers use of their fair subject, blessing every book. Thou art as fair in knowledge as in hue, finding thy worth a limit past my praise, and therefore art enforced to seek anew some fresher stamp of the time-bettering days. And do so, love. Yet, when they have devised what strained touches rhetoric can lend, thou, truly fair, wert truly sympathized in true, plain words by thy true-telling friend. And there, gross painting might be better used where cheeks need blood. In thee, it is abused. Little dark, that one, I think. See you tomorrow. Hi, and here we are, Sonnet 83. And this is really hard. I think I would say it's the hardest so far. So, have a go yourself. I'm sure you can do better than I will do. I never saw that you did painting need, and therefore to your fair no painting set. I found, or thought I found, you did exceed the barren tender of a poet's debt. And therefore have I slept in your report, that you yourself, being extant, well might show how far a modern quill doth come too short. Speaking of worth, what worth in you doth grow? This silence for my sin you did impute, which shall be most my glory, being dumb, for I impair not beauty, being mute, when others would give life and bring a tomb. Their lives more life in one. I was still thinking about the previous line and then read the wrong thing in the line. No, that line 12, and I'll go back to I'm going back to line 9 because I did a wrong emphasis. This silence for my sin you did impute, which shall be most my glory, being dumb. For I impair not beauty, being mute. When others would give life, when others would give life and bring a tomb. 2 more lines. There lives more life in one of your fair eyes than both your poets can in praise devise. He's angry. He's really pissed off. Anyway, see you in 84 tomorrow. Hi. Well, 84 is waiting for us. Who is it that says most, which can say more than this rich praise, that you alone are you, in whose confine immured is the store, which should example where your equal grew? Lean penury within that pen doth dwell, that to his subject lends not some small glory, but he that writes of you, if he can tell that you are you, so dignifies his story. Let him but copy what in you is writ, not making worse what nature made so clear. And such a counterpart shall fame his wit, making his style admired everywhere. You to your beauteous blessings add a curse, being fond on praise, which makes your praises worse. It's not very nice, that one, is it? Maybe better down the road. See you tomorrow. Well, Sonnet 85. And this one is really hard. So, you be the judge. 85. My tongue-tied muse in manners holds her still, while comments of your praise, richly compiled, reserve their character with golden quill, and precious phrase by all the muses filled. I'm going to start again, because I mispronounced that last word. It's not filled, it's filed. My tongue-tied muse in manners holds her still, while comments of your praise, richly compiled, reserve their character with golden quill and precious phrase by all the muses filed. I think good thoughts, while other write good words, and like unlettered clerk still cry, Amen, to every hymn that able spirit affords, in polished form of well-refined pen. Hearing you praised, I say, 'tis so, 'tis true, and to the most of praise add something more. But that is in my thought, whose love to you, though words come hindmost, holds his rank before. Then others for the breath of words respect, me for my dumb thoughts, speaking in effect. Sonnet 85. Hi. Beautiful late afternoon sunshine in Southern California. I wonder if Shakespeare ever experienced anything like this. Must have done. Maybe not so many palm trees, but warmth. Sonnet 86. Was it the proud full sail of his great verse, bound for the price of all too precious you, that did my ripe thoughts in my brain inhearse, making their tomb the womb wherein they grew? Was it his spirit, by spirits taught to write, above a mortal pitch that struck me dead? No, neither he, nor his compeers by night giving him aid, my verse astonished. He, nor that affable familiar ghost, which nightly gulls him with intelligence, as victors of my silence cannot boast. I was not sick of any fear from thence. But when your countenance filled up his line, then lacked I matter, that enfeebled mine. Back to the sunshine.
Quick question.
Yes, darling.
What's a compeer?
A compeer is a companion, an associate.
Huh. How's it spelled?
Compeers, compeers.
Thank you.
Hi. Well, there's something a little special about today's sonnet because I'm dedicating it to Sol and Paul Kowalski, who were married 1 year ago today. I hope the content of this sonnet does not prove to be your story. It's a beauty. Farewell. Thou art too dear for my possessing, and like enough thou knowest thy estimate. The charter of thy worth gives thee releasing. My bonds in thee are all determinate. For how do I hold thee but by thy granting? And for that riches, where is my deserving? The cause of this fair gift in me is wanting, and so my patent back again is swerving. Thyself thou gavest, thine own worth then not knowing, or me, to whom thou gavest it, else mistaking. So thy great gift, upon misprision growing, comes home again on better judgment making. Thus have I had thee, as a dream doth flatter. In sleep a king, but waking no such matter. Good luck, Paul and Sorrel. Well, we have this afternoon 3 sonnets that are linked, but I'm not going to do all 3 together. I'll do the first one this afternoon, but tomorrow I'm going to tie the next 2 together because they connect so strongly. It's not that I'm trying to get through this quickly or anything like that, trying to dump you. No, not remotely. So, Sonnet 88. When thou shalt be deposed to set me light, and place my merit in the eye of scorn, upon thy side against myself I'll fight, and prove thee virtuous, though thou art forsworn. With mine own weakness being best acquainted, upon thy part I can set down a story of faults concealed, wherein I am attainted, that thou, in losing me, shall win much glory. And I by this will be a gainer too, for bending all my loving thoughts on thee, the injuries that to myself I do, doing thee vantage, double vantage me. Such is my love, to thee I so belong, that for thy right myself will bear all wrong. I like that sonnet. Sounds very contemporary, but it's not. It's 400 years old. See you tomorrow. Hi. As promised yesterday, I'm going to do 2 sonnets now back to back, 89 and the wonderful Sonnet 90. It's one of my very, very favorites. So, here we go. Sonnet 89 and 90. Say that thou didst forsake me for some fault, and I will comment upon that offence. Speak of my lameness, and I straight will halt, against thy reasons making no defence. Thou canst not, love, disgrace me half so ill, to set a form upon desired change, as I'll myself disgrace, knowing thy will. I will acquaintance strangle and look strange, be absent from thy walks, and in my tongue thy sweet beloved name no more shall dwell, lest I, too much profane, should do it wrong, and haply of our old acquaintance tell. For thee, against myself I'll vow debate, for I must ne'er love him whom thou dost hate. '90. Then hate me when thou wilt, if ever now. Now, while the world is bent my deeds to cross, join with the spite of fortune, make me bow, and do not drop in for an after loss. Ah, do not, when my heart hath scaped this sorrow, come in the rearward of a conquered woe. Give not a windy night, a rainy morrow, to linger out a purposed overthrow. If thou wilt leave me, do not leave me last, when other petty griefs have done their spite, but in the onset come. So shall I taste at first the very worst of fortune's might, and other strains of woe, which now seem woe, compared to loss of thee, will not seem so. Thank you. Bye. Hello. Well, we are at Sonnet 91, and I wasn't familiar with this sonnet until I began looking at it a little while ago, and it just struck me as an example of how sometimes what Shakespeare writes can sound extraordinarily contemporary, as if he wrote it yesterday. And this sonnet has that feeling. So I'll try and capture that while keeping the structure of the sonnet still in place. Here we go, Sonnet 91. Can you believe it? Some glory in their birth, some in their skill, some in their wealth, some in their body's force, some in their garments, though newfangled ill, some in their hawks and hounds, some in their horse. And every humour hath his adjunct pleasure, wherein it finds a joy above the rest. But these particulars are not my measure. All these I better in one general best. Thy love is better than high birth to me. I'm going to say that line again. Thy love is better than high birth to me, richer than wealth, prouder than garments cost, of more delight than hawks or horses be, and having thee of all men's pride I boast. Wretched in this alone, that thou mayest take all that away, and me most wretched make. William Shakespeare Sonnets 2020. See you tomorrow. Hi, working on 92, I've come to realize that 92 is an absolute continuation of 91. So what I'm going to do is read the last two lines of 91 and then turn the page and go on into 92. I think you'll see what I'm getting at. Okay. Sorry, I turned over too many pages. So 91 ends. Wretched in this alone, that thou mayst take all this away, and me most wretched make. But do thy worst to steal thyself away, for term of life thou art assured mine. And life no longer than thy love will stay, for it depends upon that love of thine. Then need I not to fear the worst of wrongs, when in the least of them my life hath end. I see a better state to me belongs than that which on thy humour doth depend. Thou canst not vex me with inconstant mind, since that my life on thy revolt doth lie. Oh, what a happy title do I find, happy to have thy love, happy to die. But what so blessed fair, that fears no blot? Thou mayest be false, and yet I know it not. See you tomorrow. So, before I read Sonnet 93, I want to just remind us all, me in particular, what the last line of Sonnet 92 was. All this away. Oh no, sorry, that's 91. Thou mayest be false, and yet I know it not. Remember that. So shall I live, supposing thou art true, like a deceived husband? So love's face may still seem love to me, though altered new. Thy looks with me, thy heart in other place. For there can live no hatred in thine eye. Therefore in that I cannot know thy change. In many's looks the false heart's history is writ in moods and frowns and wrinkles strange. But heaven in thy creation did decree that in thy face sweet love should ever dwell. Whate'er thy thoughts or thy heart's workings be, thy looks should nothing thence but sweetness tell. How like Eve's apple doth thy beauty grow, if thy sweet virtue, last couplet again. How like Eve's apple doth thy beauty grow, if thy sweet virtue answer not thy show. Hi, Sonnet 94. They that have power to hurt and will do none, that do not do the things they most do show, who, moving others, are themselves as stone, unmoved, cold, and to temptation slow. They rightly do inherit heaven's graces, and husband nature's riches from expense. They are the lords and owners of their faces. Others but stewards of their excellence. The summer's flower is to the summer sweet, though to itself it only live and die. But if that flower with base infection meet, the basest weed outbraves his dignity. For sweetest things turn sourest by their deeds. Lilies that fester smell far worse than weeds. Tough talking. Hi, I would like all my friends in the UK to know that my new film, A Life with Music, is now streaming in the UK on every platform. Enjoy. So, Sonnet 95. How sweet and lovely dost thou make the shame which, like a canker in the fragrant rose, doth spot the beauty of thy budding name. Oh, in what sweets dost thou thy sins enclose! That tongue that tells the story of thy days, making lascivious comments on thy sport, cannot dispraise, but in a kind of praise. Naming thy name blesses an ill report. Oh, what a mansion have those vices got, which for their habitation chose out thee, where beauty's veil doth cover every blot, and all things turns to fair that eyes can see. Take heed, dear heart, of this large privilege. The hardest knife, ill used, doth lose his edge. Hi, Sonnet 96. Some say thy fault is youth, some wantonness. Some say thy grace is youth and gentle sport. Both grace and faults are loved of more and less. Thou makest faults graces that to thee resort. As on the finger of a throned queen the basest jewel will be well esteemed, so are those errors that in thee are seen to truths translated, and for true things deemed. How many lambs might the stern wolf betray, if like a lamb he could his looks translate? How many gazers mightst thou lead away, if thou wouldst use the strength of all thy state? But do not so. I love thee in such a sort as, being mine, mine is thy good report. Thank you. Bye. Hi, Sonnet 97. It's tricky. I've spent as much time on this one as I have on any of the others, and I hope we have spared traffic noise. How like a winter hath my absence been from thee, the pleasure of the fleeting year! What freezings have I felt, what dark days seen, what old December's bareness everywhere! And yet this time removed was summer's time, the teeming autumn, big with rich increase, bearing the wanton burden of the prime, like widowed wombs after their lord's decease. Yet this abundant issue seemed to me but hope of orphans and unfathered fruit. For summer and his pleasures wait on thee, and thou away, the very birds are mute. Or if they sing, 'tis with so dull a cheer that leaves look pale, dreading the winter's near. I think we got away with it. Just one car. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Hi. Sonnet 98. Tomorrow will be 99. From you have I been absent in the spring, when proud-pied April, dressed all in his trim, hath put a spirit of youth in everything, that heavy Saturn laughed and leapt with him. Yet nor the lays of birds, nor the sweet smell of different flowers in odour and in hue, could make me any summer story tell, or from their proud lap pluck them where they grew. Nor did I wonder at the lily's white, nor praise the deep vermilion of the rose. They were but sweet, but figures of delight, drawn after you, you pattern of all those. Yet seemed it winter still, and you away, as with your shadow I with these did play. Hi. This sonnet, 99, is actually the third in a trio of sonnets that I should have mentioned a couple of days ago, that are connected together in that he thinks that plants have stolen his love's beauty. So, Sonnet 99. The forward violet thus did I chide. Sweet thief, whence didst thou steal thy sweet that smells, if not from my love's breath? The purple pride which on thy soft cheek for complexion dwells, in my love's veins thou hast too grossly dyed. The lily I condemned for thy hand, and buds of marjoram had stolen thy hair. The roses fearfully on thorns did stand, one blushing shame, another white despair. A third, nor red nor white, had stolen of both, and to his robbery had annexed thy breath. But for his theft, in pride of all his growth, a vengeful canker ate him up to death. More flowers I noted, yet I none could see, but sweet or colour it had stolen from thee. One thing about this sonnet, I didn't know this, I've only just read this in the notes. This is the only sonnet in all 154 that has 15 lines in it, not 14. See you tomorrow. Hi, well, here we are. Sonnet 100. Where art thou, Muse, that thou forgetst so long to speak of that which gives thee all thy might? Spendest thou thy fury on some worthless song, darkening thy power to lend base subjects light? Return, forgetful Muse, and straight redeem in gentle numbers time so idly spent. Sing to the ear that doth thy lays esteem, and gives the pen both skill and argument. Rise, resty Muse, my love's sweet face survey, if time have any wrinkle graven there, if any, be a satire to decay, and make time's spoils despised everywhere. give my love fame faster than time wastes life. So thou prevent'st his scythe and crooked knife. We'll start another 54 tomorrow. Hi. Sonnet 101. O truant muse, what shall be thy amends for thy neglect of truth in beauty died? Both truth and beauty on my love depends. So dost thou too, and therein dignified. Make answer, muse. Wilt thou not haply say, truth needs no colour, with his colour fixed? Beauty no pencil, beauty's truth to lay. But best is best, if never intermixed. Because he needs no praise, wilt thou be dumb? Excuse not silence so, for it lies in thee to make him much outlive a gilded tomb, and to be praised of ages, yet to be. Then do thy office, muse. I teach thee how to make him seem long hence, as he shows now. Thanks. 102 tomorrow. Hi. Sonnet 102. My love is strengthened, though more weak in seeming. I love not less, though less the show appear. That love is merchandised, whose rich esteeming the owner's tongue doth publish everywhere. Our love was new, and then but in the spring, when I was wont to greet it with my lays, as Philomel in summer's front doth sing, and stops his pipe in growth of riper days. Not that the summer is less pleasant now than when her mournful hymns did hush the night, but that wild music burdens every bough, and sweets grow common, lose their dear delight. Therefore, like her, I sometime hold my tongue, because I would not dull you with my song. Bye. Hi. Sonnet 103. Alack, what poverty my muse brings forth, that having such a scope to show her pride, the argument all bare is of more worth than when it hath my added praise beside. O blame me not, if I no more can write. Look in your glass, and there appears a face that overgoes my blunt invention quite, dulling my lines and doing me disgrace. Were it not sinful, then, striving to mend, to mar the subject that before was well? For to no other pass my verses tend than of your graces and your gifts to tell. And more, much more than in my verse can sit, your own glass shows you when you look in it. I'm going to give an alternate reading to that last line. So here comes the couplet again.
Also fix your glasses because they're a little cockeyed. There you are.
And more, much more than in my verse can set. Your own glass shows you when you look in it. Two choices. Hi, this is a beauty. Sonnet 104. To me, fair friend, you never can be old. For as you were when first your eye I eyed, such seems your beauty still. 3 winters cold have from the forest shook 3 summers' pride. 3 beauteous springs to yellow autumn turned, in process of the seasons have I seen. 3 April perfumes in 3 hot Junes burned, since first I saw you fresh, which yet are green. Ah, yet doth beauty like a dial hand steal from his figure, and no pace perceived. So your sweet hue, which methinks still doth stand, hath motion, and mine eye may be deceived. For fear of which, hear this, thou age unbred, ere you were born, was summer's beauty dead. Stupendous. See you tomorrow. Hi, Sonnet 105. Let not my love be called idolatry, nor my beloved as an idol show, since all alike my songs and praises be to one, of one, still such and ever so. Kind is my love today, tomorrow kind, still constant in a wondrous excellence. Therefore, my verse, to constancy confined, one thing expressing, leaves out difference. Fair, kind, and true is all my argument. Fair, kind, and true, varying to other words. And in this change is my invention spent. 3 themes in one, which wondrous scope affords. Fair, kind, and true have often lived alone, which 3 till now never kept seat in one. Hi, and Sonnet 106. When in the chronicle of wasted time I see descriptions of the fairest wights, and beauty making beautiful old rhyme in praise of ladies dead and lovely knights, then in the blazon of sweet beauty's best, of land, of hand, of foot, of lip, of eye, of brow, I see their antique pen would have expressed even such a beauty as you master now. So all their praises are but prophecies of all our time. So all our praises are but prophecies of this our time, all you prefiguring. And for thy looked but with divining. I think I should just start again, don't you? Whew. I apologize. When, in the chronicles of wasted time, I see descriptions of the fairest wights, and beauty making beautiful old rhyme in praise of ladies dead and lovely knights, then, in the blazon of sweet beauty's best, of hand, of foot, of lip, of eye, of brow, I see their antique pen would have expressed even such a beauty as you master now. So all their praises are but prophecies of this our time, all you prefiguring. And for they looked but with divining eyes, they had not skill enough your worth to sing. For we, which now behold these present days, have eyes to wonder, but lack tongues to praise. See you tomorrow. Hello again. Sonnet 107. Not mine own fears, nor the prophetic soul of the wide world dreaming on things to come, can yet the lease of my true love control, supposed as forfeit to a confined doom. The mortal moon hath her eclipse endured, and the sad augurs mock their own presage. Incertainties now crown themselves assured, and peace proclaims olives of endless age. Now with the drops of this most balmy time, my love looks fresh, and death to me subscribes, since, spite of him, I'll live in this poor rhyme, while he insults o'er dull and speechless tribes. And thou, in this, shalt find thy monument, when tyrants' crests and tombs of brass are spent. Sonnet 108. What's in the brain that ink may character, which hath not figured to thee my true spirit? What's new to speak, what now to register, that may express my love or thy dear merit? Nothing, sweet boy, but yet, like prayers divine, I must each day say o'er the very same, counting no old thing old, thou mine, I thine, even as when first I hallowed thy fair name. So that eternal love, in love's fresh case, weighs not the dust and injury of age, nor gives it necessary wrinkles place, but makes antiquity for aye his page. Finding the first conceit of love there bred, where time and outward form would show it dead. Sonnet 109. I like this one. Oh, never say that I was false of heart, though absence seemed my flame to qualify. As easy might I from myself depart, as from my soul, which in thy breast doth lie. That is my home of love. If I have ranged like him that travels, I return again, just to the time, not with the time exchanged, so that myself bring water for my stain. Never believe, though in my nature reigned all frailties that besiege all kinds of blood, that it could so preposterously be stained to leave for nothing all the sum of good. For nothing this wide universe I call, save thou, my rose. In it thou art my all. Nice one. See you tomorrow. Well, hello. This may be the first sonnet I've recorded before lunch, so watch out. I like this sonnet very much. I connect with it, and I'm not sure why, but maybe I'll work it out. Sonnet 110. Alas, 'tis true, I have gone here and there and made myself a motley to the view, gored mine own thoughts, sold cheap what is most dear, made old offences of affections new. Most true it is that I have looked on truth askance and strangely, but by all above, these blenchers gave my heart another youth, and worse essays proved thee my best of love. Now all is done. Have what shall have no end. Mine appetite I nevermore will grind on newer proof to try an older friend, a God in love to whom I am confined. Then give me welcome, next my heaven the best, even to thy pure and most loving breast. I like that very much. Hope you do. Hi. I don't think I've done one sonnet yet standing up. So that's the reason I'm leaning against the door jamb here, because I thought it might be, inspire me to do something different. So, 111. Oh, for my sake do you with fortune chide, the guilty goddess of my harmful deeds, that did not better for my life provide than public means, which public manners breeds. Thence comes it that my name receives a brand, and almost thence my nature is subdued to what it works in, like the dyer's hand. Pity me then, and wish I were renewed, whilst, like a willing patient, I will drink potions of Isel 'gainst my strong infection. No bitterness that I will bitter think, nor double penance to correct correction. Pity me then, dear friend, and I assure you, even that your pity is not enough to cure me. Another one that I like, or maybe I'm just getting used to them.
What's Isel?
Isel is, it's a vinegar. It says here in the notes, the concoction of vinegar sometimes prescribed for the bubonic plague. Maybe I was going to say something that wasn't funny. Thank you for watching. Hi. Sonnet 112. Your love and pity doth the impression fill, which vulgar scandal stamped upon my brow. For what care I who calls me well or ill, so you or green my bad, my good allow. You are my all of the world, and I must strive to know my shames and praises from your tongue. None else to me, nor I to none alive, that my steeled sense or changes right or wrong. Is so profound abysm I throw all care of others' voices that my adders sense, to critic and to flatterer stopped are. Mark how with my neglect I do dispense. You are so strongly in my purpose bred that all the world besides methinks are dead. What? That all the world besides methinks are dead. Oh, how did that sound? Hi, Sonnet 113. Since I left you, mine eye is in my mind, and that which governs me to go about doth part his function, and is partly blind, seems seeing, but effectually is out. For it no form delivers to the heart of bird, of flower, of shape, which it doth latch. Of his quick objects hath the mind no part, nor his own vision holds what it doth catch. For, if it see the rudest or gentlest sight, the most sweet favour or deformedst creature, the mountain or the sea, the day or night, the crow or dove, it shapes them to your feature. Incapable of more replete with you, for most true mind thus maketh mine eye true. I like that one. See you tomorrow. Hi, Sonnet 114. Or whether doth my mind, being crowned with you, drink up the monarch's plague, this flattery? Or whether shall I say, mine eye saith true, and that your love taught it this alchemy, to make of monsters and things indigest such cherubims as your sweet self resemble, creating every bad and perfect best as fast as objects to his beams assemble? Oh, 'tis the first, 'tis flattery in my seeing, and my great mind most kingly drinks it up. Mine eye well knows what with his gust is greeting, and to his palate doth prepare the cup. If it be poisoned, 'tis the lesser sin that mine eye loves it, and doth first begin. Bit of a mystery, that one, isn't it? I'll have to think about it. Bye. Hi, Sonnet 115. Those lines that I before have writ do lie, even those that said I could not love you dearer. Yet then my judgment knew no reason why my most full flame should afterwards burn clearer. But reckoning time, whose millioned accidents creep in twixt vows and change decrees of kings, tan sacred beauty, blunt the sharpest intents, divert strong minds to the course of altering things. Alas, why, fearing of time's tyranny, might I not then say, now I love you best, when I was certain or uncertainty, crowning the present, doubting of the rest. Love is a babe, then might I not say so, to give full growth to that which still doth grow? See you later. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove, oh no. It is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out, even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. Hi. Well, this is where it all started. Sonnet 116. And because I know it and I love it, I'm going to do it again. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out, even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Hi. I have to apologize. I missed a day. Oh my God. I'm sorry. And I regret it because it's very important to keep this day by day in its right rhythm. So here we go. 117. I like this one. I like it because it moves, it really flows, and some of them don't. Accuse me thus, that I have centred all, wherein I should your great deserts repay, forgot upon your dearest love to call, whereto all bonds do tie me day by day. That I have frequent been with unknown minds, and given to time your own dear purchased right, that I have hoisted sail to all the winds which should transport me farthest from your sight. Book both my wilfulness and errors down, and on just proof surmise accumulate. Bring me within the level of your frown, and shoot not at me in your wakened hate, since my appeal says I did strive to prove the constancy and virtue of your love. That's it. See you tomorrow. Hi. Sonnet 118. Like as to make our appetites more keen, with eager compounds we our palate urge. As to prevent our maladies unseen, we sicken to shun sickness when we purge. Even so, being full of your ne'er-cloying sweetness, to bitter sources did I frame my feeding, and sick of welfare found a kind of meekness to be diseased, and that there was true needing. This policy in love, to anticipate the ills that were not, grew to faults assured, and brought to medicine a healthful state, which rank of goodness would be ill cured. But thence I learn, and find the lesson true. Drugs poison him that so fell sick of you. Kind of dark, isn't it? Ooh, certainly not 116. Bye, see you tomorrow. Hi, found a shady corner. I want this heat to stop. Sonnet 119. What potions have I drunk of siren tears, distilled from limbex, foul as hell within, applying fears to hopes and hopes to fears, still losing when I saw myself to win. What wretched errors hath my heart committed, whilst it hath thought itself so blessed never? How have mine eyes out of their spheres been fitted, in the distraction of this madding fever? O benefit of ill! Now I find true that better is by evil still made better, and ruined love, when it is built anew, grows fairer than at first, more stronger, far greater. So I return rebuked to my content, and gain by ills thrice more than I have spent. Hi. Sonnet 120. It's dark, be prepared, and it seems to me very bitter and harsh. There are also phrases which sound very, very modern. You'll recognize them when they come up. So here we go. 120. That you, who were once unkind, befriends me now. And for that sorrow which I then did feel, needs must I under my transgression bow, unless my nerves were brass or hammered steel. For if you were by my unkindness shaken, as I by yours, you've passed a hell of time, and I, a tyrant, have no leisure taken to weigh how once I suffered in your crime. Oh, that our night of woe might have remembered my deepest sense, how hard true sorrow hits. And soon to you, as you to me then tendered, the humble salve which wounded bosoms fits. But that your trespass now becomes a fee. Mine ransoms yours, and yours must ransom me. Have a happier evening than this guy seems to be having. Bye. Hi. Sonnet 121. "'Tis better to be vile than vile esteemed. When not to be receives reproach of being, and the just pleasure lost, which is so denied not by our feeling, but by others' seeing. For why should others' false adulterate eyes give salutation to my sportive blood? Or on my frailties, why are frailer spies, which in their wills count bad, what I think good? No, I am that I am, and they that level at my abuses reckon up their own. I may be straight, though they themselves be bevel. By their rank thoughts, my deeds must not be shown, unless this general evil they maintain. All men are bad, and in their badness reign." How true. See you tomorrow. Hi, welcome back. Sonnet 122. Not many full stops in this sonnet. "Thy gift, thy tables are within my brain full charactered with lasting memory, which shall above that idle rank remain beyond all date, even to eternity. Or at the least, so long as brain and heart have faculty by nature to subsist, till each to raised oblivion yield his part of thee, thy record never can be missed, that poor retention could not so much hold. Nor need I tallies thy dear love to score, therefore to give them from me was I bold, to trust those tables that receive thee more. To keep an adjunct, to remember thee, were to import forgetfulness in me. Curious. Bye. See you soon tomorrow. Well, first of all, I have an explanation to make. This is not meant to be a cute look, but in our part of Southern California, we are tormented by mosquitoes. You'll see if we pan down, camera person, pan down, you see, that's what we have to have around us all the time to keep the damn things away, because they bite. However, this is a special day. It's International Dog Day. And my friends at Wags and Walks, you've heard me speak of them before, today they are beginning a fundraising series of events. And today one of them is an auction, to which I have contributed a couple of objects you might be interested in. One of them is rather spectacular. So, that's the introduction, and now I do Sonnet 123. No, time, thou shalt not boast that I do change. Thy pyramids, built up with newer might, to me are nothing novel, nothing strange. They are but dressings of a former sight. Our dates are brief, and therefore we admire what thou dost foist upon us that is old, and rather make them born to our desire than think that we before have heard them told. Thy registers and thee I both defy, not wondering at the present nor the past, for thy records and what we see doth lie, made more or less by thy continual haste. This I do vow, and this shall ever be, that I will be true, despite thy scythe and thee. I've known that sonnet a long time, and I like it. Have a good day. Hi. So, Sonnet 1, 2, 4. Oh, need these. If my dear love were but the child of state, it might, for fortune's bastard, be unfathered, a subject to time's love or to time's hate, weeds among weeds, or flowers with flowers gathered. No, it was builded far from accident. It suffers not in smiling pomp, nor falls under the blow of thralled discontent, whereto the inviting time our fashion calls. It fears not policy, that heretic which works on leases of short-numbered hours, but all alone stands hugely politic. That it nor grows with heat, nor drowns with showers. To this I witness call the fools of time, which die for goodness, who have lived for crime. Another tough one. See you on Friday. Hello. Well, Sonnet 125. It's crazy, isn't it? Were't aught to me, I bore the canopy, with my extern the outward, honouring, or laid great basis for eternity, which proves more short than waste or ruining. Have I not seen dwellers on form and favour lose all and more by paying too much rent? For compound, sweet, forgiving, simple savour, pitiful thrivers in their gazing spent. No, let me be obsequious in thy heart, and take thou my oblation, poor but free, which is not mixed with seconds, knows no art, but mutual render only me for thee. Hence, thou suborned informer, a true soul, when most impeached, stands least in thy control. See you tomorrow. Hi, I'm delighted to be offering you Sonnet 126. I didn't know this sonnet, but I've grown to really like it. 126. O thou, my lovely boy, who in thy power dost hold time's fickle glass, his sickle hour, who hast by waning grown and therein show'st thy lovers withering as thy sweet self growest. If nature, sovereign mistress, over rack, as thou goest onwards, still will pluck thee back. She keeps thee to this purpose, that her skill may time disgrace and wretched minutes kill. Yet fear her, O thou minion of her pleasure. She may detain, but still not keep her treasure. Her audit, though delayed, answered must be, and her quietus is to render thee. Don't you love the word quietus?
I don't know what it means.
Thus shall I your quietus make. Death.
Oh.
Quietus. Total quiet, no more sound.
Huh.
Hello. Well, this is quite an extraordinary day. You are now meeting, oops, and off she goes, our new foster dog, who doesn't even have a name yet. We haven't thought of one for her, but we're already falling head over in heels in love. And the other good news is we have two extraordinary sonnets. They might be my two most favorite sonnets. Oh, you coming back? Was it hearing about sonnets that made you want to come back? Mm-hmm. She's a very sensitive dog. Okay, this may not work, but let's give it a shot. Sonnet 129. The expense of spirit in a waste of shame is lust in action. And till action, lust is perjured, murderous, bloody, full of blame, savage, extreme, rude, cruel, not to trust. Enjoyed no sooner, but despised straight. Past reason hunted, and no sooner had, past reason hated, as a swallowed bait, on purpose laid to make the taker mad. Mad in pursuit and in possession, so had, having, and in quest to have, extreme, a bliss in proof, and proved a very woe. Before, a joy proposed, behind, a dream. All this the world well knows, yet none knows well to shun that heaven that leads men to this hell. See you tomorrow.
Come here, dear girl.
Come here, darling. Come on up. Right.
There we go.
I think she found that sonnet a little upsetting.
Oh.
Isn't she a beauty? Isn't she a beauty?
Yeah.
She's just 2, and as I said, she has no name yet. One will come, won't it, darling? I'm happy. Yes, happy. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, yes, I know. Hi. Well, Sonnet 130. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses, damask, red and white, but no such roses do I see in her cheeks. and in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. And yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare. Extraordinary. See you tomorrow. Hi. I have two apologies to make. And I guess this is a kind of a third apology because I've got a friend here with me. I omitted to say that when we got to Sonnet 127, the subject of the sonnets changed from being a male to being female. And I had always thought I would mention that, but then I missed it. Also, Sonnets 133, 134, 135, and 136. I just cannot handle. They are so complex, with word meanings changing and plays on words. I've struggled and failed to make sense of them. So I'm not going to pretend that I do make sense of them. I'm just going to leave them unsaid. And begin today with Sonnet 137.
Those are upside down.
Oh. Yes. You see what having a new beautiful friend does to you. Makes you put your glasses on upside down. Doesn't it, beautiful one? Okay, here we go. Sonnet 137. Thou blind fool, love, what dost thou to mine eyes, that they behold and see not what they see? They know what beauty is, see where it lies, yet what the best is, take the worst to be. If eyes, corrupt by over-partial looks, be anchored in the bay where all men ride, why of eyes falsehood hast thou forged hooks, whereto the judgment of my heart is tied? Why should my heart think that a several plot, which my heart knows the wide world's commonplace, or mine eyes, seeing this, say this is not, to put fair truth upon so foul a place? To put fair truth upon so foul a face. In things right true, my heart and eyes have erred, and to this fault, in things right true, my heart and eyes have erred, and to this false plague are they now transferred. I'm sorry. I do apologize. Are you going to apologize as well, Zoe? By the way, she has a name now. It's Zoe. It's hers. I'm sorry about that. It could have been done better. You have a go. See you tomorrow. Cheers. One of the things I love about champagne is that you can just take a little sip and it tastes as if you had a mouthful. Well, one of my most loved sonnets, 138. When my love swears that she is made of truth, I do believe her, though I know she lies. that she might think me some untutored youth, unlearned in the world's false subtleties. Thus, vainly thinking that she thinks me young, although she knows my days are past the best, simply I credit her false-speaking tongue. On both sides thus is simple truth suppressed. But wherefore says she not, she is unjust? And wherefore say not I, that I am old? Oh, love's best habit is in seeming trust, and age in love loves not to have years told. Therefore, I lie with her, and she with me, and in our faults by lies we flattered be. Fabulous. That was 138. Bye for now. Hi. Sonnet 139. Oh, call not me to justify the wrong that thy unkindness lays upon my heart. Wound me not with thine eyes, but with thy tongue. Use power with power, and slay me not by art. Tell me thou lov'st elsewhere, but in my sight, dear heart, forbear to glance thine eye aside. What needst thou wound with cunning, when thy might is more than my oppressed defence can bide? Let me excuse thee. Ah, my love well knows her pretty looks have been mine enemies, and therefore from my face she turns my foes, that they elsewhere might dart their injuries. Yet do not so. But since I am near slain, kill me outright with looks, and rid my pain. All right, you want to stay there? Very good. Well then, in that case, you're going to play a role in Sonnet 141, okay? I don't think you've heard this one before. Zoe, by the way, Zoe. Okay. In faith, I do not love thee with mine eyes. Oh, well, so much for sonnet appreciation. Oh dear, I do love you, doggy. Yes, I do. All right.
Okay.
Sonnet 141. In faith, I do not love thee with mine eyes, for they in thee 1,000 errors note. But 'tis my heart that loves what they despise, who in despite of view is pleased to dote. Nor are mine ears with thy tongue's tune delighted, nor tender feeling to base touches prone, nor taste nor smell desire to be invited to any sensual feast with thee alone. But my 5 wits nor my 5 senses can dissuade one foolish heart from serving thee, who leaves unswayed the likeness of a man, thy proud heart's slave and vassal wretch to be. Only my plague thus far I count my gain, that she that makes me sin awards my pain. Good sonnet. Strong. Good. Tomorrow, 142. Bye. Good evening. Sonnet 1, 4, 2. Love is my sin, and thy dear virtue, hate, hate of my sin, grounded on sinful loving. Oh, but with mine compare thou thine own state, and thou shalt find it merits not reproving. Or if it do, not from those lips of thine that have profaned their scarlet ornaments, and sealed false bonds of love as oft as mine, robbed others' beds, revenues of their rents. Be it lawful, I love thee, as thou lovest those whom thine eyes woo, as mine importune thee. Root pity in thy heart, that when it grows, thy pity may deserve to pitied be. If thou dost seek to have what thou dost hide, by self-example mayst thou be denied. Tough one. I mean, hard thinking. See you tomorrow. A little rosé among the roses. Okay, well, I've taken a little break. I'm sorry, we've taken a little break. Work induced, and but I'm back now as we start the run home for the end of the line. So here we go with Sonnet 145. Those lips that love's own hand did make breathed forth the sound that said, I hate. To me that languished for her sake. But when she saw my woeful state, straight in her heart did mercy come, chiding that tongue that ever sweet was used in giving gentle doom, and taught it thus anew to greet. I hate she altered with an end that followed it as gentle day doth follow night, who like a fiend from heaven to hell is flown away. I hate, from hate away she threw, and saved my life, saying, not you. I have actually loved that sonnet all my life, since a teenager. See you tomorrow. Hi. Beautiful evening. Beautiful sonnets. Number 146. Poor soul, the centre of my sinful earth, pressed with these rebel powers that thee array, why dost thou pine within and suffer dearth, painting thy outward walls so costly gay? Why so large cost, having so short a lease? Dost thou upon thy fading mansion spend? Shall worms, inheritors of this excess, eat up thy charge? Is this the body's end? Then, soul, live thou upon thy servant's loss, and let that pine to aggravate thy store. Buy terms divine in selling hours of dross. Within be fed, without be rich no more. So shalt thou feed on death that feeds on men, and death, once dead, there's no more dying then. Amazing. Amazing. Enjoy. Good night. See you tomorrow. Hi. Well, something a little different this evening. Beautiful evening, as you see. And I have in my hands 2 mangoes, one ripe, one unripe. They each have little nubs on them, here, below my finger, little nubs. Now behind me is the tree in our yard from which these came. And if there's anybody out there who knows what species of mangoes these are, let me know. Well, rather, don't let me know. Let my camera operator know, because it's her tree.
Well, and she put you up to this, to be fair.
She did put me up to it, but I'm happy to do it because I love mangoes, and I have a ripe one every morning. Okay, here we go. This is another sonnet that I've loved for a long time, 147. And here we go. Try and forget about the mangoes if you can. My love is as a fever longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease, feeding on that which doth preserve the ill, the uncertain, sickly appetite to please. My reason, the physician to my love, angry that his prescriptions are not kept, hath left me, and I desperate now approve desire is death, which physic did accept. Past cure I am, now reason is past care, and frantic mad with evermore unrest. My thoughts and my discourse a madman's are. I'm going to read that one again. And frantic mad with evermore unrest, my thoughts and my discourse as madmen's are, at random from the truth, vainly expressed. For I have sworn thee fair, and thought thee bright, who art as black as hell, as dark as night. Yeah, he's not happy, the poet. Bye. Hi. We've done very little in this location, but now we're going to do Sonnet 148. O me, what eyes hath love put in my head, which have no correspondence with true sight? Or if they have, where is my judgment fled, that censures falsely what they see aright? If that be fair, whereon my false eyes dote, what means the world to say it is not so? If it be not, then love doth well denote love's eye is not so true as all men's know. How can it be? Oh, how can love's eye be true, that is so vexed with watching and with tears? No marvel then, though I mistake my view. The sun itself sees not till heaven clears. O cunning love, with tears thou keep'st me blind, lest eyes well seeing thou foul faults should find. Last 2 lines again. Darn. O cunning love, with tears that keeps me blind, lest eyes well seeing thy foul faults should find. Yeah, that's better. Better. I think that's a terrific sonnet too. They get very good towards the end. See you tomorrow. Hi. Sonnet 149. Canst thou, O cruel, say I love thee not, when I against myself with thee partake? Do I not think on thee when I forgot am of myself all tyrant for thy sake? Who hateth thee that I do call my friend? On whom frown'st thou that I do fawn upon? Nay, if thou lourest on me, do I not spend revenge upon myself with present moan? What merit do I in myself respect that is so proud thy service to despise, when all my best doth worship thy defect, commanded by the motion of thine eyes? But love, hate on, for now I know thy mind, those that can see thou lovest, and I am blind. They get darker and darker and darker. Well, coming up is 150. Amazing. Good night. Hi. Well, Sonnet 150 is upon us. Oh, from what power hast thou this powerful might with insufficiency my heart to sway, to make me give the lie to my true sight, and swear that brightness doth not grace the day? Whence hast thou this becoming of things ill, that in the very refuse of thy deeds there is such strength and warrant is of skill, that in my mind thy worst all best exceeds? Who taught thee how to make me love thee more? The more I hear and see just cause of hate. Although I love what others do abhor, with others thou shouldst not abhor my state. If thy unworthiness raised love in thee, if my unworthiness raised love in me, more worthy I to be beloved of thee. Hello. I realize the setting might upstage the reading. Well, so be it. It's a nice view, isn't it? Sonnet 151. Love is too young to know what conscience is. Yet who knows not conscience is born of love? Then, gentle cheater, urge not my amiss, lest guilty of my faults thy sweet self prove. For thou, betraying me, I do betray my nobler part to my gross body's treason. My soul doth tell my body that he may triumph in love. Flesh stays no further reason, but rising at thy name, doth point out thee as his triumphant prize. Proud of this pride, he is contented, thy poor drudge to be, to stand in thy affairs, fall by thy side. No want of conscience hold it that I call her love, for whose dear love I rise and fall. 3 more sonnets to go. Maybe 4. 5. Well, as you saw, she loves the sonnets. She wouldn't miss one for the world. And she's been away for a few days, so this is not just a return home, it's a return to the world of William Shakespeare. Sonnet 152. In loving thee, thou knowest I am forsworn, but thou art twice forsworn, to me love swearing. In act thy bed vow broke, and new faith torn in vowing new hate after new love bearing. But why of two oaths breach do I accuse thee, when I break 20? I am perjured most, for all my vows are oaths, but to misuse thee, and all my honest faith in thee is lost. For I have sworn deep oaths of thy deep kindness, oaths of thy love, thy truth, thy constancy, and to enlighten thee gave eyes to blindness, or made them swear against the thing they see. For I have sworn thee fair, more perjured I, to swear against the truth, so foul a lie. Oh dear, oh dear. Did you like that one, Doug?
Do you need some pets?
Did you like Sonnet 152? Not sure. Hi. Sonnet 153. The penultimate, Zoe.
What's penultimate mean, Daddy?
I'll tell you later. Okay. Cupid laid by his brand and fell asleep. A maid of Dian's this advantage found, and his love-kindling fire did quickly steep in a cold valley fountain of that ground, which borrowed from this holy fire of love a dateless lively heat, still to endure, and grew a seething bath, which yet men prove against strange maladies a sovereign cure. But at my mistress' eye, love's brand new fired, the boy for trial needs would touch my breast. I, sick withal, the help of bath desired, and thither hied, a sad, distempered guest, but found no cure. The bath for my help lies where Cupid got new fire, my mistress' eyes. Numb with excitement. Oh, hello. My director of photography took an initiative to start shooting early. It seemed to us, Sonny and myself, that as we're about to record Sonnet 154, which is the last one, that we should make an event of it. Hence, my tuxedo, and you can't wear a tuxedo and not have a martini in your hand. So here's to good health and safety to everyone who has been so kindly watching and listening to these sonnets. We had never expected anything like this, and we appreciate it enormously. Here's to you. Now, there is one other little thing. I have been using a bookmark all these months, I suppose it is now. And I'd just like to tell you something about it. It was given me by a dear friend many, many years ago. And he wrote on the back the following quote from Horace's Odes 3:29. And it is, "Happy the man and happy he alone, he who can call today his own. He who secure within can say, tomorrow do thy worst, for I have lived today. There it is. Sonnet. Oh, I was about to reprise 153. Sonnet 154. The little love god, lying once asleep, laid by his side his heart-inflaming brand, whilst many nymphs that vowed chaste life to keep came tripping by. But in her maiden hand the fairest votary took up that fire which many legions of true hearts had warmed. And so the general of hot desire was sleeping by a virgin hand, disarmed. This brand she quenched in a cool well by, which from love's fire took heat perpetual, growing a bath and healthful remedy for men diseased. But I, my mistress thrall, came there for cure, and this by that I prove. Love's fire heats water. Water cools not love. If you have been, thank you for listening and watching. Well, no more sonnets today, but because it is St. George's Day and also Bill Shakespeare's birthday, I thought we should celebrate it with something a little more expanded than a sonnet. Not a scene, not a conversation, but one of the chorus speeches from Henry V, introducing what is to come, which is the Battle of Agincourt. Now, entertain conjecture of a time when creeping murmur and the pouring dark fills the wide vessel of the universe, from camp to camp, through the foul womb of night, the hum of either army stilly sounds, that the fixed sentinels almost receive the secret whispers of each other's watch. Fire answers fire, and through their paly flames each battle sees the other's umbered face. Steed threatens steed in high and boastful neighs, piercing the night's dull ear, and from the tents the armourers, accomplishing the nights with busy hammers closing rivets up, give dreadful note of preparation. The country cocks do crow, the clocks do toll, and the third hour of drowsy morning name. Proud of their numbers and secure in soul, the confident and over-lusty French do the low-rated English play at dice, and chide the crippled, tardy-gated knight who, like a foul and ugly witch, doth limp so tediously away. The poor, condemned English, like sacrifices by their watchful fires, sit patiently and inly ruminate the morning's danger, and their gesture sad, investing lank, lean cheeks and war-worn coats, presenteth them unto the gazing moon so many horrid ghosts. Oh, now, who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band, walking from watch to watch, from tent to tent? Let him cry praise and glory on his head. For forth he goes, and visits all his host, bids them good morrow, with a modest smile, and calls them brothers, friends, and countrymen. Upon his royal face there is no note how dread an army hath surrounded him, nor does he dedicate one jot of colour to the weary and all-watched night, but freshly looks and overbears a taint with cheerful semblance and sweet majesty, that every wretch, pining and pale before, beholding him, plucks comfort from his looks. A largesse universal, like the sun, his liberal eye doth give to every one, thawing cold fear, that mean and gentle all behold, as may unworthiness define. A little touch of Harry in the night. And so our scene must to the battle fly, where, oh, for pity, we shall much disgrace, with 4 or 5 most vile and ragged foils, right ill disposed, in brawl ridiculous, the name of Agincourt. Yet sit and see, minding true things by what their mockeries be. Sorry about the little dry in the middle. Lot of words. Thank you for listening.